Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going today? Alrighty, I just give it like a minute or two and then we'll start. So it's about 1 a.m. here in Istanbul, Turkey. I'll just give it like a minute or two for people to see the live stream, then we'll start. So yeah, today was kind of a good day. Good afternoon, guys. Good evening, wherever you are. So I traded today and it was a pretty successful day. I actually traded for the first time without my Discord group. I didn't want to like be on Discord. I wanted to like get away from people, you know? I've been on Discord literally 50 days in a row. Made like $500,000 day trading. But today I was like, fuck Discord, man. I don't want to be around people today. So I needed kind of a day off. I traded by myself and it was a pretty good day. It was a really good day. I'm up $74,000 and I capitalized pretty heavily on the dip. So I started with a gigantic short position. If you guys caught that in my live stream, right? I entered a $3 million short position live yesterday while everybody was not posting. All these YouTubers not posting because they're so fucking scared. Here I am live streaming, updating you guys play by play and entering a live short for $3 million. You know what I mean? That just speaks about a person rather than all the other moon boys that are like, fuck that, I'm not gonna call anything. I've been calling 125, 150K. Like, fuck that, man. You gotta be real. So I shorted $3 million live yesterday, won 54K. And I gave away $2,500 randomly to somebody through a giveaway. And then after that, I literally waited for like a dip to occur. And then I entered a shit ton of long positions around 4 p.m. my time. You can see here around 5 p.m. my time, I swung it for about maybe 3 hours. And then I won every single trade of mine because I saw the dip. I actually slept. If you guys noticed my trade here for Bitcoin, it was ended at 11, but I slept like at 6 in the morning, and then I woke up at like 4 p.m. and I saw the market recover. I'm like, fuck that. So I entered a $500,000 long position between like 16 coins, and I won every single trade, which put except for Beam. Fuck Beam. Fuck you, Beam, and Cass. But other than that, like I won every single trade. I exited most of them, and then I saw the market was still continuing, so then I re-entered them. So yeah, $74,000 profit today. That was pretty damn good, man. But I'm on vacation, guys, just so you know, basically till January the 2nd. Actually, yeah, till January the 2nd or so. Then I work from January the 2nd till about middle of February. And then the middle of February, I'm going to the Philippines for 3 months. I'm gonna go stay at like a 5-star hotel and then just basically work my ass off for 3 months. Hopefully the bull market will resume. That's gonna be nice. So yeah, like right now, you guys probably have a lot of questions such as, do I believe the bull market's over? The answer is no, I don't. 95% of me believes that the bull market is not over, but 5% of me believes that it is. My portfolio yesterday dropped about $1 million. So I'm not really happy about that. Actually, in the past like 7 days, it's dropped about 1.8 million. So I'm fucking like kind of pissed off right now, a little bit upset. Because yeah, like, you know, it's almost $2 million. What can I say, right? But I didn't sell anything because I still believe that the bull market's going to continue. I have to believe that because there's a lot of metrics that are still showing that the bull market is going to continue, okay? So let's talk about the market, how it's going. So as we all know, that the crypto market cap for total 2 dropped 25%, pretty healthy correction in my opinion. And then Bitcoin also ended up dropping only 15% so far. That's literally nothing. Yesterday's video, I ended up arguing the case of how the bull market could be over. And it's unfortunate, but I had to argue this case because if you take a look at how the cycle is, it shows 5 very clearly identified waves, right? Very, very clear waves. It also shows bearishly diverging RSI between 2021's peak, and also bearishly diverging RSI in this peak as well. So now all of a sudden you got all the waves counted. This is the big super cycle wave 3, bearishly diverging RSI between waves 3 and 5. And now you have something literally identical to it happening as well, where you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, or actually the 3 was over here. And then you also have bearishly diverging RSI. So yes, there's literally a 5% chance that the bull market is over, but we haven't printed a pi cycle top yet, okay? The pi cycle top has always been printed. This is basically, I'll show you guys what the pi cycle top indicator is. So this one here is the moving average of 350 and 111. So when this crossover happens, basically when this crossover happens right here, right there, you see it? When the crossover happens, from the red gets on top of the green, that's where the bull market ends, right here. Every time, see, that's where the crossover basically happens, right there. Then the pi cycle top indicator shows up, and then within 4 days, the market drops heavily, okay? That's one case, and the second case happened again, but this one, okay, it happened, and then in the 1, 2, 3, 4th day, it ended up dropping, right? So it predicted it in the April 2021 high, but of course this one, it couldn't have predicted it because of how skewed it was, but it predicted the top of the wave 3. So now if you take a look right now, we're actually far away from a top indicator, like very, very far away. The red line needs to be on top of the green line. So because of that, I believe that the bull market is not over. That's one of the reasons. So bull market support band, this is also another really good indicator. This is called the bull market support band that uses the 20 weekly SMA and the 21 weekly EMA. So this is also another great metric to use. And you can see that we're actually still bullish on here, okay? We're still actually very, very bullish. So you can see that when we're bearish, the red crosses on top of the green. And you can see the red hasn't crossed on top of the green yet. But of course, it's a delayed indicator, right? By the time you notice it, it's too fucking late. For example, here, when the red crossed on top of the green, we already dropped down like 70 fucking percent, you know? So it's not the most reliable indicator to use, but nevertheless, it's still one that I'm gonna check on it once in a while. So now let's take a look at all the stupid EMAs that I hate looking at, but we're gonna take a look at anyways right now, okay? So we're gonna start off with the daily. So the white line is the 200, the yellow is the 50, the blue is the 55. You can see that in basically every bull market, what happens traditionally, like even from, 2017 is a phenomenon where it was so parabolic, but the white line's on the bottom, the yellow line's in the middle, the blue line's on the top. And then eventually crosses, right? But by the time you notice it crossing, it's just too fucking late. So on the daily chart, the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA is traditionally where you want to take the most risk. So every time it gets between the 20 and the 55, or even between the 50 and the 200, that's where you're pretty much buying every single time. And you will be in profit because history has shown that you're in profit. But of course, it gets to the point where it's too overextended. And then if you buy, like over here or over there, you end up getting fucked over. This is called the fanning effect, where it starts to increase in the gap as it gets more and more parabolic, right? But of course, as it gaps too much and it gets too parabolic, when it starts to retrace, you don't want to buy it, right? Like, you don't want to buy it. You want to probably get the fuck out instead. And then if you take a look here in 2019, 2020, 21, same shit. Every time it gets to over here, between like the 50 and the 200, or even like right here between the 50 and the 200, you want to buy, right? And then it gets to an all-time high and then it drops. So history has shown every single time it's done that. And right now, it's kind of the same story where these lines are going to fan out, and buying it eventually puts you in profit, right? But right now, we have actually fanned out a tremendous amount, and that scares the fuck out of me, right? Also, if you take a look at how like even though we're bullish above the 50 EMA right now, right? The EMA is such a bullshit lagging fucking indicator that by the time you notice anything, it's just too late, man. Way too late. You know what I mean? So right now we're still doing pretty well. Like it's looking good, but my original count is argued with two different cases right now. So let me show you the bearish case once again, where this is the 1, 2, and this makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 that's truncated, and the 4 there, and the 5 is done. And this case is very easily argued because we see bearishly diverging RSI. On the 4-day, we see the bearishly diverging RSI on the weekly. So one can argue, how the fuck are we not done this super cycle already? Then you see all 5 waves are done, and then now Bitcoin's basically going to go into one of the deepest corrections that we're going to see. Like a deep correction. I'm talking about, you know, from way down over here to up there, like we're talking about a correction like, you know, down to 55K to 42K, some shit like that. Or even hitting this trend line, right? Like you know, this is the scary, like the scary thing right now. This is a major trend line that we see right now, right? A major trend line. And who knows, like it might even make some stupid ass expanding triangle where we literally hit back down to over here. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but that's the truth. The truth is there's 5 waves that are so fucking clearly counted right now that how could I possibly believe that the bull market can continue based off of this diverging RSI, right? It's like, you know, I called it. I called this shit and people just fucking laughed at. It's so funny when I make these stupid posts where I said between 105 and 110K is the highest we'll get. And it actually comes true. And then people all of a sudden are like, you know, like it's hilarious. Like I don't even remember how long ago I posted this, right? Like a long time ago. I'm just gonna keep going back and then I'm gonna search my own posts. You know, let's just keep going. 105K. Wow, it went even further back. I don't even know where it is, but I posted like that the top is in, you know, right here, right there. This is on December the 12th that I posted this. I'm like, the momentum setting up for a drop has begun. If one more subwave occurs, maybe 110K max before we see a major capitulation, right? I'm not trying to scare you. It's just showing you kind of the facts, right? I'm confused. A couple of weeks ago, you expected correction so that the bull market could proceed. Well, yeah, Spectre, the thing about the market is that like you cannot be only permanently biased towards one direction, right? Because if you're biased towards one direction, but a new set of data comes in that tells you something else, then you got to change your view, right? I thought that there was going to be one more subwave going to the upside, and here's the Elliott wave count that argued that there could have been one more subwave. So this was a 1, a 2, and then this is basically a 3, and then this is like a 4 somewhere in there, and a 5. Actually, this is the 3, because this makes an A and a B and a C. So by an ending 5th wave diagonal, what we see is that this actually only made a 1, a 2, a 3, and I thought it was going to end here, and then it was going to make a 4 and a 5. So then technically it should have made one more ending 5th wave, right? But it never actually did that. It failed. The 5th wave completely failed and it broke down. So by my original thesis that there was one subwave missing, yes, I was slightly bullish on it. But I did say that there was a small chance, right? I don't remember where I said it. I said there's small. Like there was a small chance of another subwave forming, and it was, you know, and it actually ended up happening that, or sorry, there was no, it didn't, I can't remember where the fuck it is, but somewhere in here. Anyways, I'm not going to go through my Twitter and shit and prove stuff, but I did say there was a small chance of it forming, but unfortunately it was invalidated. And sometimes you have a thesis that should hold true, but of course there's going to be invalidations. see yourself like as a technical analyst. That's like a scientist where you have like a hypothesis and you're trying to prove it to be true or not true, and it can be invalidated, right? So it's not always good to hold, right? So altcoin season, but like I don't even know about altcoin season anymore, guys. Like this is not how a market should behave. I'm telling you, like a market in the bull market doesn't behave like this, guys. It doesn't behave to the point where you correct like golden ratio levels. You know, that's a fucked up correction. Dropping 48% in a bull market, man. That's just one coin. Like other coins have dropped, 44%. We are so close to, we're only like 20-30% away from when the bull market, like when Trump was in, he was elected as president on November the 6th. We're only 30% away. And also Bitcoin is showing so much bearish status right now and momentum that the target is very clear. It's gonna be between like 87 to 74K. And this argument is very easily made because I've shown before that many times the market corrects like 30%, right? 34%, 35%. So the top to the 382 at 87K is literally only 20% drop. But at the golden ratio, that's a 30% drop at 74K. I don't think this is going to hold. The 5 waves are in right now. I mean, if there is a bullish market that's going to resume, then I gotta change up my count. I gotta change up my count to something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And somebody said to me before that wave 3 is the shortest wave if I counted this as 1. I mean, you can just fucking check yourself to see if it's the shortest by using Fibonacci extension. And if I use Fib extension, I see very clearly, right? Very clearly that this wave here is greater than a 1-to-1 extension. So it's clearly greater than that wave, right? So if this was the like wave, like, if the bull market continued and that was like a 1 and a 2, then a 3 is going to be really great. And we just like have only begun the greater rally, and I'm not seeing it clearly enough. And the RSI just never got a chance to get big enough, right? So even based off of like a 1618 extension, if this was the count, then we're talking about, the wave 3 finishing between like 140 to 200K. So we don't really know yet, but I still have to have doubt and say that there's a 5% chance that the bull market is finished, just based off of my argument of how I'm able to identify, 5 waves, right? So yeah, like, I'm going to be working extremely hard between January the 2nd and February, like the middle of February when I come back. And make sure you guys are joining me, because in January, I'm going to close the signups to my elite tier Discord group, because there's still a 60% off right now. It's such a small fee to get that type of quality content and to be able to follow my trades and ask questions, etc. So make sure you guys check out the link below or on Twitter for the 60% off sale, where you get to join my elite tier Discord group for 6 months. You also get access to my 20-hour course as well to learn everything that I know. It's time to mute some people in the group or in the chat. There's always a lot of like negative and pessimistic people. I mean, if you're going to join my Discord group and talk shit, of course you're going to get a ban like that guy, Akumaldo Crypto, right? Like, it's just how it is. If you don't show that kind of respect wherever you are, you're going to get banned. But, I called, anybody in my elite group would agree with me that I called out every single trade of mine, almost like 90% of my trades. A lot of people are up hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's up to you guys if you want to join it. If you're unhappy with it, I give you a full 100% refund, right? The only reason I do this is because I like to be active in the community and also engage with people, and it helps out people at the same time too. I could probably honestly make a lot more money just not having a social media and just day trading and focusing on myself, but that's just boring, man. So Ethereum, let's talk about some alts right now. I was just gonna get to some alts like Ethereum, Solana, right? So this is looking fucked up for Ethereum. I mean, the bull market, like Bitcoin reaches $108,000 and Ethereum doesn't even break this year's high. Like, what the fuck, man? Talk about an underperforming coin. Also, if you take a look at the F index, like, I'm gonna show you guys something very scary. It's gonna scare the fuck out of you. You know, guess what, guys? All 5 waves for Ethereum is also in. It's literally in already, right? All 5 waves for Ethereum is in. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Literally, everything is now in. You know, so you look at the last cycle where it made like a 1, 2, 3 shitty 4 and a huge 5. And then, you know, you get that big ass correction to the downside that basically makes a 4-wave pattern like an A, B, C, D, and E. And then you get the 5 waves that forms, right? This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes the 1. This here makes the A, B, C. That makes the 2. A, B, C. And then this makes the 5 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, truncated 5th wave. And then this makes the 4, right? And then now that's the 5th. And we're done. The cycle's done, right? Like, I mean, I hate showing this case because I don't want the bull market to be done, man. I want it to fucking keep continuing because I want to make more money. But when you look at it from this perspective, it's like Ethereum, it's, you know, if I had to, if the market was over, Ethereum's going to make a really slow ass grind and it's going to fucking just do something like that, man. It's going to do something like that. And it's going to go in here till 2027. It's going to go into the shitty ass pattern that shows. And then in 2027, it might have a chance to break out for the 2028, 2029 bull market. It's looking really shitty, man. I'm telling you guys, the market looks absolutely shitty right now. And the thing about Ethereum, Bitcoin the most is like, this should scare the fuck out of you. You know, this here, this expanding diagonal is wild. How is it coincidence that 7 years that we reached the same high over a stupid fucking trend line? You know what I mean? Also, we're looking bad. Like the monthly is showing a very doji type of candle right now. So the only thing I can advise people, like the way that I'm playing this, guys, is I'm waiting to see if $74,000 ends up breaking. If for some reason we're super bearish right now and we break below 74K, we're fucked, guys. We are so fucked. We're probably gonna drop down to like $31,000 ranges to let this stupid pattern of a triangle play out, right? So right now is a time to be very cautious. Everybody that is saying that the bull market's continuing based off of ETFs, based off of fucking Trump, based off of inflows for ETFs and institutions racking up Bitcoin and Michael Saylor racking it up. Yeah, I get that, all that. You know, the interest rate cuts are going on as well. Well, you got to look at some other factors as well, like the S&P 500 right now. S&P 500 literally just took a nosedive of 5% right after the FOMC meeting. That was fucking wild. Also, since 2023, the S&P 500 has gone up 75%. S&P 500 is showing massive hovering right now. Okay, this is setting up for literally a drop right now. There could be a massive recession coming. Look at this histogram tick. This is one of the largest ones that we've seen. That's really fucking scary, right? On the S&P 500, the MACD just crossed over like ridiculous. So yeah, am I bearish right now? Unfortunately, I am. If you can't tell by my tone, I will get the fuck out of crypto if we end up breaking below 4K. That's my exit point. I'll probably have like maybe $2-3 million left in my portfolio, down from 8, because right now altcoins are bleeding. I'm down about $2 million in my portfolio since this drop. So at 74K, I'll be happy. I'll exit with my $2-3 million that's left. I'll wait for the next cycle. I'm not going to hold like an idiot because I understand how deadly it could be. So this drop is just a precursor to what could happen. And right now, the only reason we're holding is because, you know, this little area has like price action area, right, for what we've seen before, right? We take a look at how this little stupid pattern ended up holding, right? It's kind of like the apex of the pattern. So it recovers slightly for now. So we're going to have to wait. Right now, the state of the market is very scary, guys. It's very scary, like fucking scary, I'm telling you. And I hope that you guys are understanding this, because the number one problem that people make is they are fucking moon boys and they don't understand that the market could be over, like the bull market could be over. So they basically end up buying on every single dip. And then when they buy on every single dip, it's not a dip to buy because the bull market literally finished and the bear market is now continuing. That's the number one problem that people have. Their inability to take profit and actually exit the market, okay? So that's what differentiates professionals that are managing millions of dollars and the people that, you know, that are just FOMOing moon boys, that are greedy and they can't understand the current market conditions. So I unfortunately had to outline every single bearish case for you guys because the bearish case is 100% true right now, okay? The MACD is raging down, okay? The bearishly diverging MACD is fucking wild. You see this right here? This was a really good trend line for the 4 days since September on the RSI. And now the RSI literally just broke that massive 2.5 month pattern. So I unfortunately have to be pretty bearish right now because I have to protect my ass. I have to protect my investors' ass as well. And we're just at the cusp of potentially breaking down and having a trend change right now on the RSI. So as much as you would like the market to continue, please make sure you understand that there's a possibility of a massive drop coming. And this wave is likely to be done for now. But if I am wrong, which I hope I am, and the market does continue, then great. Then God bless Bitcoin. So the way that the daily candle is looking is pretty good right now. We're getting a doji candle that's rejecting a pretty decent drop down of 5%. But it's not just Bitcoin that's rejecting. It's actually every single coin that's forming a fairly decent type of hammer candle that's forming. So best case scenario is if, for example, altcoins are making 5 waves and they're done the 5 waves and then they finished also the ABC correction and Bitcoin continues to the upside. So now the bottom is truly in for altcoins because they are making a hammer candle today. They all retrace 618 to the 786 Fibonacci level. And now we finally begin altcoin season. That's going to begin sometime in January, leading to the upside, right? So another thing to take a look at is the ROI after halving, right? So the ROI after halving basically says that on the 240th day, a correction occurs. Just look right here. Actually, I should zoom out. The 240th day, a correction occurs, and that's exactly what happened. Every single time, 240th, we dropped like 30% in 2016. 240th day, we dropped 30% in 2020, 2021. And now we're showing the same type of symptoms, right? Right after the 240th day, shit starts to happen. And also, if you take a look, right, because remember that Bitcoin, okay, this halving was actually in April. So because it was in April, it started earlier than July's halving in 2016 and May's halving in 2020, which were further into the year. So, and if you noticed in like 2017, we had some major drops in January. It was like a fuck you up kind of drop. Like in the first week of January, we ended up dropping 35%. And then in March, we ended up dropping again, right? So this is January, like this was January the 4th where it dropped 30%, the first week of January in 2017. And then in 2021, right before the bull market began, it did the exact same thing as well, where, you know, right here, 2021, right there in January, the market drops 32%. But because the halving this time was earlier in April, we're probably going to get that drop, I'm guessing, like before the new year finishes. So I think that everything is in line with how the past has become so far. We drop on the 240th day, and then we also get a 30 to 35% correction, basically the first week of January. But because the halving was earlier, it's happening earlier than the first week of January. So that's it, man. It's not looking good in any way. These are very, like, this is the scariest candle formation that you can see, where you see this right here, and then you see a gigantic red candle that's wiping out like 4 or 5 days. And also right now, the market does look good because of the doji, but of course it's only being held up because of this right here. So if the market does continue, we're gonna have to break some significant levels. We're gonna have to get well back above that $99,100 region, but also know that we had a channel that broke significantly. Bitcoin's gotta get back into the channel. Short term, Bitcoin's fucked. Like, there's no arguing against that. Bitcoin's is literally fucked right now. Okay, so we fell out of this channel, right? We fell out of the channel hard. So, you know, like if Bitcoin is gonna rally, it needs to get back well above into the channel. And to do that, it needs to break like above around 99,100 region, right? Around here. I think that Bitcoin's probably gonna find, like, maybe if it rallies, it's gonna get to somewhere around here, you know, like below 100K, and then reject and probably continue to the downside, unfortunately. I don't think this is a fake out or a bear trap. Technically, and based off of the charts, looks nasty. So Bitcoin has a lot to reclaim. Otherwise, we're gonna end up getting fucked. So anyways, have yourselves a great night, guys. I just wanted to update you with my thoughts. I hope that I didn't scare you guys too much, but unfortunately, somebody needs to offer a different perspective. I'm one of those guys where there's 10 people in a room and then 9 people all agree on something. I will disagree no matter what, just to cause controversy and to offer a different perspective, because that's important to be successful and to have alternative perspectives. So that's kind of it. No, I'm not in any longs at all right now. 0 long positions, Bruno. I'm completely out of the market for short-term trades. I already made $20,000 today day trading, and that's it. Make sure you guys are joining me, man. There's only 11 days left to join me in my elite tier group, where we're gonna be able to day trade together, and you get to access my course with a 60% off. Anybody that's in it, I can say with 100% confidence that they're very happy with the trades that I take, because I'm very transparent with everything, and that's the kind of boss that you need to be around. So have yourselves a great night. I just wanted to make sure I update you guys at 1:30 in the morning, because that's what I do. So have a great night. Thank you for your time. If you enjoyed the content, just hit the like button. Just follow me, hit the notification, and that's it. Have a good night.